Hi, it's Mary, and welcome to Being Mary. So today I'm not alone at the table. I'm here with my good friend Marian Walsh, and we're here for coffee and conversation today. Something we're going to talk about today might raise a few eyebrows, and it's called knowing your place. Now, we're not talking about the way it used to be said to put someone in their place, especially women. We're going to flip that. For us, knowing your place means understanding your strengths, your limits, your value, and how that self-awareness can lead to deeper peace, stronger relationships, and better boundaries. So grab your coffee and let's get at it. Marian, we've spoken before that knowing your place isn't about silence. It's about self-awareness. Can you share a little bit about what that means to you?
Yeah. To me, it means recognizing your role, especially in situations that you've chosen to be in. For example, 15 years ago, I married a man with adult children. I was entering into an established family. My role wasn't as a parent, it was as his partner. The adult children already had a mother, and trying to take on that role would have had a negative effect on my relationship with him, and most likely with the children too. Plus, it would have been disrespectful to their mother.
Yeah.
Supporting him as a parent is appropriate and necessary, and knowing my place in that structure as his partner is crucial.
So, Marian, as a stepmom myself, I get that. But sometimes we forget that the biological parents also need to know their place, especially in co-parenting situations. Step-parents shouldn't be expected to take on the parenting role unless it's been clearly discussed ahead of time. So good communication can prevent a lot of hurt. And I wish I'd had that reminder years ago when I was going through this. We all make the best decisions we can in the moment. But knowing your place means knowing which decisions are truly yours to make. So, Marian, let's talk about when to speak and when to stay silent. I love that you framed it not as having a voice, but knowing when to use it. Sometimes whispering is more powerful than shouting. In Being Mary, I wrote, parenting isn't about control, it's about connection, a journey of mutual growth and understanding.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. As we get older, we gain so much knowledge and wisdom from our many experiences, but the wisdom is only helpful to others if they're willing to receive it. So we have choices. We can offer advice when it's not requested, and it can fall flat and it can negatively affect the relationship. Or we can wait to be asked, and then the information and the advice is more likely to be heard and appreciated. Especially with adult children, I think we need to work to build a respectful mutual relationship. For example, my role as a parent to my son 30 plus years ago when he was 6 was much different than the role it is today to the 38-year-old professional that he is. Our place as parents evolves, and we have to be able to evolve with it. But I think it's really important to reiterate something you said earlier, about knowing your place. This doesn't just apply to women, exactly. It applies to all genders, all of us, in all aspects of our life. In the workplace, for example, we tend to respect the roles and boundaries more than in our personal lives. But in both, overstepping those boundaries can be very detrimental. It could mean the loss of a job or the loss of a relationship.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Marian, you once said, not everything you see around you is your business. That line really stuck with me. It made me think of my daughter's addiction journey. I often struggled with knowing when to step in and when to step back.
Yeah. Social media and the 24-hour news cycle has made us feel that we're aware, well, we're certainly aware of so much going on in the world and all the struggles, and it has given us the thought that we want to have a say about everything going on. But the truth is that we really can't have an effect of the sadness and the struggles that are happening in the world beyond us. Where we can have the most effect is in our families and in our community. Mother Teresa said, if each of us would sweep our own doorstep, the whole world would be clean.
Yeah.
And so what she's saying is if we take responsibility for our own immediate worlds, it'll have a huge global effect. When it comes to addiction and personal struggles, as you know, Mary, that is so challenging, and we can support our loved ones, but we can't walk that path for them. We can ensure they know that we will offer time, encouragement, and prayers, but ultimately, as hard as it is to say, they have to do that work for themselves.
Yes, that's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about personal responsibility. You've said that knowing your place also means becoming the best version of yourself for your own sake and for those around you. Does that connect to knowing when to speak and when to just support someone quietly?
Absolutely. When we truly know our place, I feel we're more grounded, we're more responsible, and we have better relationships. And that starts with taking care of ourselves, ensuring that we're strong physically and emotionally, working daily to be healthy and be physically active, ensuring that we include daily practices of gratitude, self-reflection, and knowing the value of spending time alone daily, working to be the best possible version of ourselves, for sure. And with regards to speaking up, we need to remember that being different doesn't mean wrong. When we stay curious about the world instead of judgmental, we can create spaces for others to be heard and to create solid connections. Sometimes people just want to be heard. They don't want to be fixed or corrected, or they just want to be heard.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Can we circle back to social media? You said something I can't stop thinking about, and it's that it gives us the urge to speak on everything, whether we understand it or not. And this is where I want to reiterate something that you said. People forget to remember that different doesn't mean wrong. Sometimes people just need to be listened to, not fixed, not corrected, just heard. Do you think that makes us louder, everything in social media, but less connected?
Oh, absolutely, it does. Of course, social media gives us a platform to react instantly. We can comment without full knowledge and often without consequences. But in real life, we can't delete words that we've spoken. They're out there and they're having an effect. So if we're not careful, we can bring that impulsiveness into our personal relationships. So before we speak, we have to take a second and ask ourselves, is this my place? Is what I'm going to say helpful? Every thought we have doesn't need to be shared. But having said that, there are times when speaking up is essential, especially when someone who is vulnerable is being harmed or abused. In those moments, knowing our place is to step forward in their defense. So when people know that you won't rush to judge them or push advice on them, they're more likely to trust you and open up. And that can build stronger relationships in all aspects of our life.
Oh, Marian, this conversation has been such a gift, and I'm so grateful to have you as a friend.
Thank you.
And knowing your place isn't about being small. It's about knowing what's yours to hold and when to offer your voice with intention, whether it's in your family, your workplace, or online. It's not about silence. It's about discernment. Thank you, Marian, for sharing your wisdom and your heart. And to our listeners, maybe knowing your place simply means pausing before we speak or act. and asking, is this mine to say or do? If you like this episode of Coffee Talk, please share it with a friend and subscribe for more. Until next time, be kind to yourself, speak your truth, and remember, your place is not behind or beneath anyone. It's right where your heart leads you. Till next time.
Lovely. Coffee cheers. Thank you.